My name is Gideon, and I'm about to die. I was born on a world long since destroyed. Some say I played a hand in its destruction. Less charitable voices say I was the sole cause of its demise. I cared little at the time, as I was blinded by my own self-righteous fury. But then a reckoning came upon me. I found others who could travel between worlds, and whose beliefs conflicted with my own. I was humbled by their power and tempered by their convictions. I resolved to learn from my opponents. I would do better, be better, and fight the very kind of tyrant I had become. For years I stood alone. In countless battles, I won every time. Until now. I've given my all and it wasn't enough. But I have a plan. I've done the one thing my opponent could never do. I've made allies out of enemies.
Ahoy, Let's Watchers! It's me, your valiant Captain Vasco. You may have noticed that this is not Zelda. If you didn't notice that, what's wrong with you? This isn't Zelda. You even paying attention? Come on. So, once again we've encountered some technical difficulties. So I decided to try and show off something that is a passion of tech and mine that we've made some mention to in the Zelda Let's Play. Magic the Gathering! Of course, it would be really tedious for me to try and, actually show you a real-life game. But what's a lot easier is to do this! This is Duels of the Planeswalkers. An Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network, I guess is the PlayStation equivalent? I don't have a PS3. Anyway, it's a downloadable game, and it has a lot of the basic elements of Magic the Gathering. Today, because I know many of the people watching this don't know anything or know next to nothing about Magic the Gathering, we're going to play the tutorial! Yay! Of course, play is one of those words that I use air quotes on, as I have played through the tutorial of this version of Duels of the Planeswalkers. You don't do so much playing. I'm going to try and read these because I know that my resolution is terrible, because I don't have the time to let them render more substantial video. Anyway, your avatar. You are a planeswalker, a powerful mage who casts spells and summons creatures. I'm telling you, reading anything off the Xbox is an exercise in futility. Opponent's avatar. Duel other planeswalkers to gain power and goat or something. I don't know. I'm sure it's not that important. I'll get to the gist of it as I'm air quotes playing. Pass the turn. The game is played in turns. Each turn lasts several phases. Screw this. I'm not reading any more of this. I will explain it as we go. Alright, so, like many card games, you start off with an opening hand. Well, I think pretty much every card game has that, except Zatch Bell. But I'm not going to get into that. So you have 7 cards that you start with. When you're playing a normal game, you have the option to take a Paris Mulligan, which means if your hand is completely miserable and you think you're going to lose with it, you can shuffle it back into your deck and draw 1 fewer cards. Because of the deck quality in Duels of the Planeswalkers, they decided to give you a free mulligan, which means that the first time you decide that your hand is terrible, you can draw the same number of cards, so there isn't actually a penalty. The goal of Magic the Gathering... I'm just gonna skip this crap. The goal of Magic the Gathering, you and each opponent start with 20 life points, and you want to cast creatures and play spells, and try to diminish their life total There's also... Jeez Louise, it's really a dull tutorial, isn't it? So, use the L to move to this guy, zoom in on him. Okay, cool. Now I can play a land. During each of your turns, you're allowed to play one land card. You use lands to cast your spells. Yes, it's my opponent's turn. Good for him. Now, if you notice up here in the upper right corner, hopefully I'll remember to do some sort of notation or something. You'll see a number. There's a 2 in a circle next to a small green tree. That means that in order to play the spell, you need to have 3 mana. 2 of any kind, signified by the circle, and 1 green, signified by the tree. You get green mana from forests. There's 5 basic lands in the game of Magic. Plains, island, swamp, forest, mountain, and each one taps for a different color of mana. Yes, I will play another land. And look at this! So now I get to play my first spell. So, 1 in a circle next to small green tree means I need 2 mana. I have 2 lands in play. Since they're both forests, they make green mana. Therefore, I can play this Runeclaw Bears. Tapping. When you use up your resources each turn, you tap them. That means that you turn it sideways, and at the start of your turn you will untap, or return to its original form, all the cards in your control, unless you have, like, a weird effect. But I'm not gonna get into weird effects, because this is the basics. Anyway, it's my turn again, so I can play yet another land. Oh, it wants me to do combat first, I guess. Okay, sure. Alright, so, creatures are one of the main elements of Magic the Gathering. In the lower right corner, same side as the mana cost, which I explained earlier, you will see 2 numbers separated by a slash. The first number is the creature's power. That's how much damage it can do in combat. The other number is its toughness. If it takes that much damage in battle or because of a spell, then it will be sent to the graveyard and leave play. During each of your turns, you get a combat phase, during which you can attack. So I'm attacking with a Grizzly Bears, which has 2 power. Yes, that's great. So it deals 2 damage to my opponent's Orin. Now he's at 18, and I'm 1 step closer to destroying him. I don't know why it's so finicky about when I'm going to play everything. Alright, now I have 3 mana, so I can play the spell that I initially showed off, which is this guy, the Centaur Courser. He's angry. He's gonna punch. Centaurs have fists. They can punch. I mean, they're more likely to kick, but they can punch. Shut up about it. He played some sort of vampire guy. He has 2 power and 1 toughness. Okay, here we go. Now he's casting a non-creature spell. This one reduces a creature's toughness, power and toughness by 2 for 1 turn. Unfortunately for my bears, which he is targeting, he only has 2 toughness. And if a creature has 0 toughness, he dies automatically, because it takes 0 damage to kill him. Hopefully you understand how that works. Now is a good time for me to... Alright, no pre-combat spells, you're such a cool guy. Yeah, if you have any questions, or interest in knowing anything about the game of Magic, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. So now my Centaur, who is a 3/3, meaning 3 power and 3 toughness, is dealing 3 damage to my opponent. It's very exciting for me. Yes, I understand this. Please stop giving me text boxes. It's the worst tutorial in the world. Alright, play another land, because I can play 1 per turn. Or, I guess I have to play my spell first, because tutorial's super cool. Now I play that land, because again, 1 per turn. Might as well do it, although I strongly recommend saving 1 in your hand if you don't need to build up your mana to cast a large spell in your hand and you have no other cards. What is this? Okay, I'm talking about blocking, I guess. So he's all like, oh my god, this 2/1 is attacking you and you have a 3/3, which means that if I block, which it wants me to do, block, then my creature will deal 3 damage to his 1 toughness, totally blowing him up. And his guy will only deal 2 to my 3 toughness, which will not blow me up. Very exciting. Yes, I understand that it's his turn. I don't... Okay, so I killed your guy. It was a terrible attack. Good for you, Soren. You get the idiot prize. Alright, so I drew a cool spell. Alright, don't ever want me to do anything before combat. I love this system. Strictly speaking, it's probably correct to do this. I would just like to demonstrate things in a logical order for teaching purposes. However, the game loves to be illogical, and if you ever play it, you'll probably learn that for yourself. Alright, so what's this trick? Last gasp! Target creature gets -3 power and toughness until end of turn. Well, it's going to suck to be Soren in a minute, because I'm all up in his business with this spell. Okay, stop time. Cool. You could press X on the Xbox version to stop time, which gives you enough time to actually, like, target creatures with your spells in response to other spells. It can get a little tricky. I'll try to explain the stack briefly in a moment. Anyway, so he's trying to kill my centaur with his -3 toughness spell, because he's a jerk, and I don't like him at all. But what I'm going to do is increase my centaur's power and toughness by 3, which not only, you know, negates his spell. I guess they pretty much just cancel out the way this works. But yeah, the way the stack works is the last object on the stack resolves first. So, even though he played his spell first, I get a chance to respond. And because mine happened last, or I put it out last, it resolves before his does. So, if it had happened in the other order, if I was all like, grr, I'm gonna, like, make my guy huge and kill you, he could have responded with that spell, and I would have had no choice but to use not only my creature, but also my giant growth spell. Here he's casting Doomblade, which says destroy target non-black creature. Nothing I can do about that. I'm going to lose that element. Destroy obviously means send it to the graveyard/discard pile. Okay, so it seems to want me to use this Blanchwood armor. That's cool. Blanchwood armor, sure, same difference. Alright, so I guess put it on this guy. Cool. Now play Forest. Oh, what's this? My creature now has 9 power and toughness? This game... Because I put this creature enchantment on it? The way a creature enchantment works is you attach it to one of your guys and it does something. This one says, enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each forest you control. So my guy who started off as a 3/3 gets +1/+1 for each of the 6 forests I have, meaning 1 power and 1 toughness for each forest I have. That means that he has a total of 9 power and toughness. And what do you know? Soren has that much life left. Sucks to be Soren Markov. He's some sort of Russian vampire, for those of you unfamiliar with the game. Anyway, that's our tutorial. This irregularly scheduled program will probably be returning over the next couple of days, just until we've sorted out the technical difficulties currently plaguing our ability to finish off Zelda. So I hope you like cliffhangers, and I'll see you tomorrow.